I found this really beautiful place to take photos, but it's on the side of a main road in Kiama, and it's super embarrassing. Two old ladies just walk past, and oh God, it's mortifying. Oh God, there's a car now. Hi, my name is Pip, and welcome to the segment on my YouTube channel that I'm going to affectionately call Books on Tour, which is book reviews being done in various places in Australia. Today we're at the Kiama blowhole. Sounds like it's about to go. Today I'm going to be talking about A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. So today, with the small blowhole behind me and the bigger one off that way, I thought it would be time to finally review A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I started this book maybe 6 months ago, and it is a behemoth of a book. So it's not exactly a little cheeky weekend read. And I've mostly been listening to this as an audiobook, but bouncing between the paperback and the audiobook. I really wanted to love this book. I've seen a lot of other booktube creators review this book and absolutely love it. So I really wanted that experience of feeling taken in and changed by a book, and like your heart was completely broken. And that didn't happen. When I started this book, I was still living and working in Sydney. This was before I'd sold my practice. And at the time I was pretty miserable and pretty depressed, and this book was hard to read at that time because of its heavy content. So trigger warning, this book discusses self-harm, pedophilia, sexual abuse, food issues, just about any form of difficult triggering content. Just a huge set of waves rolling in right now. Whoa. So that heavy thud you can hear is when the water hits the blowhole. So hopefully every so often you get to see it. But with this book, it's about a 32-hour audiobook, and I have still about 7 hours to go. And it was only the other day that I decided that I'm not going to make myself do it. I'm going to DNF A Little Life. And it's not because it's a terrible book. It's beautifully written, the characters are beautifully constructed, the storyline is really well thought out. It's a slow burn. You fall in love with the characters, but this book is emotional torture. It's difficult to talk about this book without spoiling it. It's a very slow burn. It does start off with not a lot happening, and you're just slowly getting to know the characters. The primary characters being Willem and Jude, and you don't really get to know a lot about Jude until much later on. Now, I just completely fell in love with Jude. He is a man with a lot of physical disabilities and who has been through a huge amount. And early on, you don't get to find out really a lot about that. But as the book goes on, we find out so much about Jude's story. And this is kind of the reason why I stopped. There are multiple great characters in this book. One of them is Harold, who becomes a very important figure in Jude's life, and I love Harold. Love Harold. And I wanted to join his crusade against Caleb. I really did, but it's just so painful, and it just keeps going and going and going. Jude has been through every horrible humanly imaginable event, and yet he's still standing, and the graphic reliving of all of those issues just wore me down. It's not that I can't handle the graphic nature of it, or the significant mental health issues that are explored in this book, but it was relentless. And initially, Willem and some of the other characters provided a little bit of a respite as we started to find out more about what had happened to Jude and why he was the way he was. And then that respite just started to disappear. and I was taking longer and longer breaks between picking up the book. And I mean, one time I was listening to the audiobook and I was in this place in Barrels called Harry's, which is this beautiful restaurant with floor-to-ceiling books and artworks all over the wall, and I was eating by myself, so I was like, oh, it's a perfect occasion to listen to a little bit of a book while I'm sitting here, give me something to do so I don't feel like I'm a solo person eating dinner in a restaurant. And as soon as I turned it on, it was straight back into that super graphic stuff, and I had deliberately tried to stop after a pause from the graphic story, and it just kept going and I couldn't do it. So it's not for a lack of trying, and it's not because this book is problematic from a writing or storyline perspective. I have stopped this book because I can't take it anymore. There's a couple of quotes on the back from reviews, and one says, "A Little Life is unlike anything else out there, quite simply unforgettable," and that is really true. There is one that I strongly disagree with, and it's a singularly profound and moving work. True. It's not often that you read a book of this length and find yourself thinking, I wish it was longer. I honestly, like, I get the point of trying to really make the reader understand the magnitude of the horrific things that have happened to Jude and the number of things and the way, but it doesn't need to go on forever, and I was just, it's emotional torture. I hope you've enjoyed this video, even if it's been a little bit loud with the waves in the background for this book reviews on tour video. And if you have read A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, definitely let me know below in the comments what you thought, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I mean, I know I said I was hungry, but Jesus. That's Kiama. Completely wore the wrong kind of boots for this, but the view is worth it.